Hey everybody, I'm Robin and these are my reflections. Today I'm doing a couple of viewer requests videos and we are starting with the Modern Witch Tarot and the Neoteric Feminine. This is a decisions video requested specifically by a viewer, Arlen. This is for you. Or he, I'm not sure. They wanted to know if I could do a side by side because they wanted to know, what these look like side by side. And so I'm going to do a decisions for this. I think that this is a good idea. Actually, I was like, oh yeah, I have both of those decks, and that's perfect because people might be trying to decide between the two, and they are similar. So let's talk about some of the differences. The biggest difference in the deck is, oh, I mean, obviously they're different artists, so the images are different, but they're similar in the fact that they are both feminine representations of the Rider Waite Smith tarot. They are not specifically clones because the scenes are a little different and they've modernized it and all of that, but they are very close. So if you are new to tarot and you're learning, I think these would both be fabulous decks to learn with. Not only that, but they have pretty decent guidebooks. Well, this one has a pretty decent one. This one has a pretty great one. So let's get into it. Let's start with the Modern Witch, and then we'll come back to the Wyspell. So the Modern Witch comes in a box that opens like this. Gotta be honest, I've had this deck for quite some time. I love this deck. I think it's beautiful, but there are some things about the production quality that I could do without. That's all I'm just saying. Like, I don't like this box for shit. I hate this box. I don't like any boxes that open like this because of the way I store my decks. Now, this is a very personal thing. You know what I mean? Like, this might not be a problem for anybody but me. But because of the way I store my decks, boxes like this become a problem for me because I'm always like, they don't stay and they come open or whatever. But it is a pretty box. I will say that this is the only deck I have from Liminal 11, but they pay close attention to the boxes. They put pretty things on the inside, little fun things to find. The boxes are really sturdy and nice. I hear that the new boxes have like a clasp on the bottom. I'm not sure if Modern Witch has been reprinted like that, but this is old. I got this one when it came out. This is the guidebook that it comes with. It's a little hard book, which is so cute. I think this might be the only, is this the only deck I have with a little hard? I think it reminds me of storybooks I used to have when I was a kid. I love that. And it has a little forward and some information from the creator. It talks a little bit about, if you're new, it talks a little bit about what the major arcana is, but it's not a whole lot of information there. And then it gives you a decent amount on the majors. I'll just put that there so you can, look it over if you want. Pause it and read it. And the minors is less. So the minors page would look like that. So you can read 6 and 7, 6, 7, and 8 there. And then in the back there are a couple of spreads, and that's that. You know, I think that this book is sufficient. If you have another tarot book to really dive deep, I mean, it's for a guidebook and a deck. I think it's sufficient. I really do. I think it's good. It has the information that you need to be able to read the cards. And is it everything tarot? No, but I mean, you're not going to get that in most guidebooks, right? It did come with 2 extra cards. So it came with this one, which you could use as a blocker card or even a significator if you wanted to. And it came with a different 10 of swords that says everything is fine. Now there's another 10 of swords actually in the deck that actually just says 10 of swords. This one just says everything is fine. I wouldn't use this as a significator if it was me, but you could maybe swap them out or put them both in and use one as an upright and one as a reverse. It's up to you how you want to use these cards. I don't use them. I was using this one as a bookmark for a long time because I like that it says I'm a badass, but then I put it back in the box. So that's that. And the cards for the Modern Witch are typical tarot size. Let me get you a tarot card to compare it to. This is the Wiser Tarot. They are the exact same size. Actually, I mean, it's a slight, tiny bit smaller. But I mean, that could just be, they're the same size. This is tarot size. And then the cardstock is a gloss, high gloss, and very, very thick. Very thick. Like they barely bend. Um, as far as how thick the deck is, like I have small hands. Getting my hands around this deck to riffle shuffle is impossible. I have to break it in parts. Like I can shuffle it like this and then shuffle it. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to. I have them in order, but and then shuffle the other side, or I can overhand shuffle just fine. But I cannot riffle shuffle this whole deck together because it's too thick. In comparison, I will show you Neoteric so you can see. Now the Neoteric cardstock is thinner, but it's about the thickness of a regular tarot deck. So you can see kind of like the difference, you see? So yeah, this one is a lot thicker. So I don't know, if you have smaller hands, you might consider that. That might not even be a big deal for you because maybe you don't want to riffle shuffle, you know? so so that is the Modern Witch. So we'll just set Modern Witch to the side for now. There. And let's talk about Neoteric. So the production quality for this, it comes in a hard box that opens this way with thumbhole cutouts. It's pretty fabulous. I love these types of boxes. It's not my favorite type, but it's damn close. I like this one. It did come with a blocker card as well, but I actually taped this one to the bottom of the box, but it does have one if you want one. These are the backs. These come gilded, and the cardstock is a lot thinner, but very flexible and bounces back. And they are the same size, tarot size. So they're both the same size. Modern Witch and Neoteric, same size. So that is not, there's no difference there. Okay, now the guidebook. This is where there's a big difference. This guidebook has a lot of information in it, a lot. Now, I think all of their guidebooks are the same. I haven't looked at the other one in comparison to this one. I keep saying I'm going to do it because I have another deck from Wyspell. It's called, I'll link it below. I did a walkthrough. I did a review of it. I'll link it, and the cards are below or something. Pretty sure that the guidebook is the same. But, it has a lot of information about cards. And if you're new, this guidebook, if you really are just starting tarot, this guidebook is really going to help you get along on your way. It does give you some spreads. It tells you about the yes or no. Quite a few. It talks about chakras. And then this is where it shines. And for every card, it has upright keywords, a love meaning. It's like keywords or key phrases for love, career, and finances separated out, and then the divination. And it does the same for reverse for every card. So you have the upright on one side and the reverse the same. Keywords, the love, career, and finances, and then a little bit more information for reverse for each card. And it goes, that's even like the Seven of Swords has that, the Three of Cups. Like, you can stop and read that if you would like. They're all. So I'll show you one. Let's show you like a negative, like more darker card, so you can kind of see how it reads. And pause that. And then I'll show you a lighter. But here you can see a court card. Okay, so that is this book. It's really good. And for also what they have in here is you have a quick meaning page. So at the beginning of each suit, so this is the beginning of the major, you have like a little cheat sheet, which you could keep in the book or tear out and keep on the side if you wanted to. So here's the cheat sheet for the cups. Cheat sheet for, quick meaning references for the cups. What was the other one? I don't know. Maybe that was swords. I wasn't paying attention. That might have been wands. Yeah, it was wands. So it has that for each suit. So I like that about this book. So I think that this book definitely beats this one. If I was comparing it. So if you're looking for a deck with a really good guidebook, I would choose this one over the Modern Witch if it was me. Now, if the guidebook is not your thing, let's look at the cards. So I put them in order, And we're going to do a side-by-side silent flip through. I am not going to talk. I'm just going to go through the cards here with some music for you so that you can take a look at them side by side and see kind of what you think or which ones you prefer. We'll zoom you in, and then we'll come back and talk about them. So now what I did was I just pulled out cards that I thought veered the most from the RWS because most of them were pretty close to the same imagery. But the things that I thought strayed the most, I just pulled them out here. And then in the middle, what I have placed is a just more traditional RWS card. This is from this deck I got off, I think, Amazon. It's called Tarot Deck. It's just a plain RWS deck, and it's nice though. It's linen. If you don't need this deck cost me like $10 on Amazon, and if you don't need a guidebook, it doesn't come with a guidebook or anything. Um, yeah, Mirian, Miriyan, if you want it. Okay, so this is the Hermit. This one is very different from the Neoteric, and the Modern Witch is very much is closer to the original. And this is the original in the middle. For the Chariot, this is the original Chariot. Here's the Neoteric, and here's the Modern Witch. They veer. Neither one of them are moving, which is the same as this one, but they have different vehicles, and these vehicles can move, where this vehicle is pretty much very stationary, right? Here we have the Sphinx is laying down. These are standing up, so there's a little bit of a difference there. The Seven of Cups, there wasn't much difference here, but in the Neoteric, the figure is looking at us rather than the traditional looking at the cups. So I noticed that. Yes, I mean, I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference, but for someone new, it could be a little confusing in the meaning. It might not be, you know. Um, for the Four of Swords, the Modern Witch is pretty close, but the Neoteric strays a little and brings it more into the modern by taking it to a spa. For the Page of Cups, same thing. Modern Witch, pretty close. Neoteric, we're at the fairgrounds. There's no water in the background to indicate the cup suit or anything like that, but she does still have the fish in the bowl. I love this card. I think she looks like Emily in Paris. Page of Wands. The Modern Witch stays very close while the Neoteric strays just a little. Um, I like the movement in this card, and she is like a Page of Wands. Page of Wands are, well, actually, I guess this Olympic sport is probably much more, it takes a lot more training and calculation than a Page of Wands would ever do, but I like the way it looks. So this is the Eight of Swords, where the Modern Witch is very close to the symbolism. The Neoteric strays. They zoomed in. We've got swords actually pointed at the person. It looks like someone has been throwing swords at her, but missed. There's no water here. There's no to indicate the emotion. There's no city in the background. There's none of that. So that definitely strays from the symbolism of the RWS. Queen of Swords. Again, Modern Witch staying very close, which it often does. It's very, very close. And the Neoteric strays. So we've got a very different queen here. She's not super different. She has a cat, which normally we see in the Queen of Wands. Um, it's a white cat, not a black cat, but it's still a cat. And then here we have the Two of Pentacles again, similar but no water, and similar but different landscape. So both of these have strayed just a bit where they're similar but different landscape. This one is wearing the same color clothes, so that's cool. Five of Wands is the last one. Modern Witch is very similar, almost dead on the same. I love the masks in here. Maybe I did get this in 2020 because there's masks, so maybe it did come on 2020. And then this is the Neoteric, which of course is very different. So we've got some battling prima ballerinas here, fighting for a spot in the spotlight. So that is my comparison of the decks. Now, like I said, for the Neoteric, the shuffle on this one is very easy for me. As a person with small hands, these cards are super bendy. They're kind of thin. I can shuffle them no problem. I get a very good riffle on them, but like I said, they're thinner. So if you're not into thin cards, you're going to want to go with the Modern Witch. Now, if you don't like thick cards, because these are super thick, I can't riffle them at all, but I can overhand them pretty well. They're very slippy. You're going to want to go with the Neoteric if you don't like thick cards, or if you don't want to have to handle such a slippy deck. If you prefer, as far as the color palette, they're very similar, it seems like to me, when I was looking at them here. And this one feels, I don't know, this one is bordered and borderless. So if you prefer borderless cards, you could go with that one. If you prefer borders, you can stick to this one. Otherwise, they're pretty much the same. They stay pretty close to the RWS, except for those few that I talked about. And they're cute. They're cute and they're easy to read because they're pretty much RWS. Now, like I said, this guidebook is much better. It's much more comprehensive, I guess. It's not super comprehensive. It's not going to give you everything, but it gives you a whole lot more than this one does. For the Neoteric is a lot more than the Modern Witch. So if a guidebook is what you want, I would choose this one as long as you don't mind the thinner cardstock. And then, of course, there's the different art styles. So you could go by what your eyes like, So that is my decisions. That's all I think that I wanted to share. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. I release videos every few weeks regarding tarot, every few days, regarding tarot and oracle. Now, if you curious to see when I got this deck. I feel like it's been so long, but maybe it hasn't been that long. It says 2019, but then there were masks, so I don't know. If you have the decks, let me know. Let us know, and anybody else who might want to know how you're using them and what you think the differences and similarities are between them. Now, if you have any ideas of any decks that I have in my collection that you would like to see a decisions on, just let me know in the comments below. You guys have a fabulous day, and I would wish you to stay safe and be blessed. Bye now.